It's funny, we bring up metrics today as one of our conversations, but literally I said, sometimes I just get bored, right? And when I get bored, I start trying to create new things.
Welcome back, Eric.
It's been a minute.
It has. Welcome back to the studio. Nothing's, really changed, although the office is getting a little bit of
outside the studio. Yeah, everything's been out different.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's looking real good.
Bright and fun.
I thought so. We're doing an office redesign right now. Obviously keeping up on things, right? Just like what we do at McDonald's, right? You want to keep everything contemporary, and it makes for better spots. But it's funny because I walked in and I know they were painting, last week, this week, and I said, "Oh, it's all primed and ready to go." And lo and behold, it's actually the color, not the primer. So, but white's in, right?
It's clean, it's modern, chic.
Yeah, we'll see.
What's the hot buzzwords of design?
Regardless, I didn't design it. So you can talk to Guy or
right.
Baxter was a part of it, I'm sure. But yeah, it's good to be back, Riley. It's been a little busy. So I appreciate you holding down the fort for us. Yeah.
Me and Nick we've been having conversations about leadership, and it's just been really cool having him on, and it's really nice because it's a different perspective. It's different stories and different experience, and it's super cool. But I'm glad to have you back.
No, it's great. It's fine. It's fine.
Speaking of having you back, though, we are going to be making some changes to the podcast.
Yeah.
Super exciting because what me and Eric have talked about over the last couple of weeks has just been, the podcast is not Riley and Eric. It's Iron Arch.
Yeah.
It's Bucciferro family, and so I'm really excited to kind of transition the podcast into more of a podcast for us, by us.
Yeah.
And I think that's really exciting.
Right? For the people, by the people.
Yeah.
But it is. I think we need to continue to push, and if we're still doing the same thing in a year, we're probably doing something wrong type concept.
Gotta constantly evolve.
I can't believe it's been almost a year.
Almost.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Right? Like for us to do anything for more than a month, there's some consistency behind there. So thank you to the audience, right? Thank you to the listeners. Thank you to everyone that's subscribing, listening, learning, leading. But yeah, I think as we kind of go into this little bit different of a route, it'll help get a little bit more people involved, get more perspectives. Like that's why I like what we're going to look to do is get more perspective, right? I haven't run a restaurant in a long time. You haven't worked in the restaurant in a long time. There's still a lot of different values and things that I think we provide. But let's face it, where the rubber meets the road, let's start hearing from everybody.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I mean, everybody, anybody in the team, crew trainers, if you're listening, send us an email. Right. We want to have you on,
Yeah. So today I think it's going to be good for us to talk a little bit about metrics, right? Because it's a long journey sometimes on where we're trying to go, and it can get a little mundane.
A little boring.
Yeah.
For the corporate folks in the chat, right?
Yeah.
KPIs.
Oh,
Hate to hear those words. I remember one time you named them Big Rocks.
Yeah. But they all got names, right? I was in this. I'm part of a YPO group, and it's a young professionals thing where there's basically like 8 or 9 of us in this YPO program where you talk to people. I get the privilege, right, of talking to people in different industries. So yesterday the question is like, how do you what do you allow to distract you, and why do you get distracted? And they all have their different reasons and things like that. But I'm going to tell you, it got me thinking about it. And it's funny, we bring up metrics today as one of our conversations, but literally I said, sometimes I just get bored. Right. And when I get bored, I start trying to create new things. And what I'm happy about with the organization. So let me preface this. I'm not changing something today.
Right,
yeah. Okay. Podcast, fine.
Yeah.
Podcast direction, maybe a little bit, but that's something we're dreaming up. But I will tell you from a corporate standpoint, from running the organization, we have to be very careful on like getting bored, or if the organization gets bored, because then we start to like go in different directions. So when I get bored, and I had a really good thought-provoking conversation on this yesterday with some of the team, is like when I get bored, I got to kind of go back to some of those basics of, hey, what are the metrics that we're really looking for, and why? Like why those specific metrics, and then how do we get some energy behind that? Because that's ultimately what I said. I get bored because I lose the motivation and the energy.
Well, because those tactics in which you go after those metrics can get stale or get boring.
It's true.
After a while, you say the same thing every day for a month. You might see some good results, but then it's like,
Yeah. So energizing and motivating and the metrics. So I think it's important to understand the whys behind the stuff first. Mm-hmm. So why are we going for speed, right? Like, why does McDonald's say, hey, let's go be fast, right? And there's a multitude of reasons. Yes, the easiest one is we want to get more customers through, right? Customers, I mean, we're quick service, we're fast food.
They expect it.
It's literally in our name, right? Yeah. So if we don't live up to speed, that's an issue, right? So we push and we talk about speed, not just because of the customer metric, but because of everything else that it entails, right? All of a sudden, your kitchen has to be a little faster, right? They have to have better staffing. You have to have shift managers that know how to run shifts. You have to have consistency behind that. The customers then expect, the speed. Yeah. You grow accustomed to what that looks like, right? And then speed is just a metric. It's literally just a metric of how fast you are. Mm-hmm. It doesn't, there's so much more to it.
Right. There's the hospitality, there's the whole experience. I mean, speed is a big part of that experience, but it's crazy to kind of dissect that metric and how much more there actually is to it than just how fast you are.
Yeah. So we've been talking speed, Riley, like legitimately talking speed for probably like 3 years. And as we've acquired, some new restaurants and new leadership teams, we got to kind of continue some of those basic conversations around the speed and the whys. What I find is a lot of our team members don't know why we want to be fast. And I was in a conversation the other night with one of our shift managers, and I said, okay, like a speed is 114, but like why? He's like, well, I don't know. You guys tell me to. Or it's usually like they told me, right? Or this is the goal. Like, I don't know, like they just said, do it. So I think from a leadership perspective, we have to better understand the whys behind that, so there's plenty of whys, why we want to be fast, especially in the quick service industry. Like you said, it's not just the speed. It's not just the customer service. It's not just the throughput of how many cars we're putting on, because yes, you have to be hospitable. You have to be quick. You have to there's so much more to that. Bonus, right? The faster you are, the less dirt you notice. Like sitting in drive-through. If you're going, right? Like you don't have time to maybe notice.
That awning looks a little. You don't have time.
Yeah, exactly. So the faster you are, the cleaner you are. Just throwing that out there. But our team has to know the whys, and if you don't know the why, profit, for example, we set out profit goals every month, and they change every month depending on the volume of sales and the transaction counts and the weather and like past experience. But like sometimes we used to just give those goals, and it's like they're the goals. Don't ask questions.
Right.
Like I want you to ask. I want the teams to ask. I want you to be curious.
Yes, look at that.
We're not out of touch. All right.
But the whys are so important, and I think all the way down to the crew who are working the shifts, working present. Like every guest you talk to, it's important that you're hospitable and friendly and smiley because the why.
So we just don't take that extra step a lot. So I would encourage us to really we as leaders need to understand the why so we can portray that to the team. I get it. Half the team might not care about the why. They're just there to do their job. But for the people that do care, tell them, and then I'm going to just bridge that gap. For the ones that don't, if you tell them, they might actually start to care.
We did an episode a while back about the bricks, the bricklayer, and then, I'm just laying bricks, or, I'm building bricks for a sidewalk to a chapel.
Yep.
I'm laying the bricks for the chapel. Like that kind of mindset is important.
Hardest part is the monotony of the day to day. I'm just gonna throw it out there because I struggle with it. I can imagine you struggle with it. Sometimes it feels like just a job, right? And I get it. It's hard to be motivated every day, but a leader will find a way to continue to push themselves and their team. And you got to sometimes be creative with those goals.
You got to get creative because you say you have a tactic for a month or a quarter and you're crushing speed, but then all of a sudden you start getting slower.
Yeah.
Well, that's because people are getting bored. You're getting bored with your tactic.
Yep.
So as a leader, you have to find those ways to keep the wheels moving, literally.
Right.
By coming up with different things.
Yeah. Maybe we should show graphs like during like for those on YouTube. We talked about our voice, our customer satisfaction metric, and we talked about this in a leadership meeting. I think it was about a year and a half ago. Like we were kind of going into, I don't know if you remember it or not, we were going, I think like from February into March, and our voice scores were slipping a little bit. I think we went to, let's just say like 65%. As an organization, we want 80%. I think at that time we were shooting for national average, which was like maybe 74. Let's just say 74. So let's just say we were about 10% below. So we had all of our leadership, we had all of our general managers together, and I said, hey, here's the number. Let's go through. We round robined it. We talked about like all the cans and the can'ts, and we tried to eliminate, well, I can't, like type mindsets. Right. So we walked away from that meeting. Basically, everyone's saying that we can, right? Like that's why you need to know the whys behind the goal, because you have to believe in them. If you don't believe in the goal, then you're not. And if you live in the pessimism of whatever we set forth, right, for those goals, screw it, that's not achievable. Why try, right? Like that's the attitude you can't mess with. Mm-hmm. But if you believe in the goal and you can walk away as a team believing in the goal, then the energy then is on us as leadership. So my point here is when we left that meeting, we were all energized. And you want to know what happened to our voice score? We shot up like immediately, like that night, the day after, those few days after, we went from 65 to like above national average. We jumped up that 10%, but it didn't last very long. Right. And it only lasted maybe 3 to 5 weeks of like, oh my gosh, like we're killing it. And then we get distracted. And we lose the motivation, we lose the why, we forget, right? We kind of go back into our daily routines. So I think from an energy standpoint, there's something to be said about like what really does energize people for longer than 30 days. Mm-hmm. So, what's the carrots? What's the energy? What's the shift-to-shift basis? And I'm going to tell you, like I don't necessarily have the answers. I know, like when we were shooting for drive-through times, we'd be like, how many red cars can we get through today? Right.
Just little, and I think the gap too is our shift leaders need to also have their own tactics.
Yep.
Not just the general manager. The general manager is not there for every shift.
Yeah.
So how do you get your team, your management team, to have that all-in excitement of we believe in this goal? Because when you do, that's when you're going to have a how many red cars can we get? How many HBOs, right? Handbag out the window. Like how many of those can you get? Yep. And just keep those wheels moving.
Yeah. The thing too is we as shift leaders, we as managers, we sometimes think we know what's fun. And I don't know, like I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, and I'll tell anybody listening, I'm not the most fun guy when it comes to some of these things. But what I learned is to like lean into our team and say, okay, my back cash person, what do you want to set for the goal today? Hey, here's what I'm looking to achieve. We need to improve our voice score. We have to be faster. We have to be more accurate. We have to be hospitable. Like, what do you want to do? Hey, today I want to smile at every customer that comes through. Perfect. All right. Every time I come back, I'm going to make sure you're smiling at every customer. Like, how do we let them set some of their goals?
Get the team involved in that. And again, on a shift-to-shift basis. You don't have somebody back cash for all day.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So every time you have somebody come in that position as a shift leader, hey, what do you want to do today? How do you want to impact this metric?
Yep. And challenging them and challenging each other. It's just, I don't care who you are, and you can say you don't, but just about everybody that I've ever met likes a little bit of competition. Like people don't want to finish last, right?
They want to win.
Yeah.
And I think, we've been talking about speed a lot, but food cost.
Yeah.
Why does a crew person care about food costs?
Sure.
Sure. Well, hey, guess what? If we go faster and we serve accurate food and we have our profit measures, right? That means more rewards points or more shifts, more opportunity for you as a crew person to really rise to the top.
I agree with you. Like holistically, I agree, because that is what's going to happen. I just don't know if people buy into that enough to really believe it. And I think that's the problem with some of our team members who say, hey, if you do this, you'll get more hours. But guess what? They do it and they don't get more hours. So like we as leaders, when we're motivating and providing the energy behind that, like we have to be able to follow up and say, hey, this is what that's going to look like. It might take some time. It might take some energy. Because I'm going to tell you the same thing. I agree with you. When we hit our profit margins, right, and when we do X, Y, and Z from the operational metrics, we can do more for the organization. We can provide more. We can provide more points or reward incentives or ideas or like fun activities or whatever that looks like, right, to everybody. But we got to put the work in.
Right.
And sometimes the issues is you have these high performing, whether it's restaurants or people within the restaurant that do 80% of the work, and then you have your bottom performers who suck the energy and the results out of everything. And yet we allow those energy suckers, right, to hang out, and basically our results just become average again.
Because if you're that 80%,
yeah,
why put in that much? You're not getting anything out of it at that point.
Yeah.
Because these energy suckers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is turning into a conversation about high performers but that's where it is.
It is where it is.
If you can get everybody on the same page, pulling in the same direction, like we've said multiple times, around your metrics, you can make them fun.
Yeah.
But you got to have everybody having fun.
Can you believe? I same thing. I like to talk to people. I don't know if you know that or not. But we were having a conversation with one of the shift managers. I was having a conversation with the shift managers, and they said, "I'm working really hard. I'm doing all these things. I don't get recognized." I said, "Okay, so." That sucks. Like, we want recognition. I actually had this happen a couple of times where even somebody, a crew person, emailed us on the hotline saying, "Hey, I don't get recognition." I said, "Okay, cool. Like, what does that look like?" And then we had a more of a conversation around some of the things that we offer. A lot of people don't know what we offer, right? And that's sad. But the conversation around, "Hey, I'm doing all of these things and I don't get recognized." So I said, "Okay, well, what is the general manager wanting from you? Like, what is the general manager's top priorities?" "Well, I don't know." Okay, so you're telling me that you're rowing really hard, and you're splashing and you're making waves and you feel like you're moving, but you don't know where your leader wants you to move towards. Like that's
you're
a problem.
Just rowing aimlessly.
Yeah. So what I would say around this metric conversation is yes, we want energy around the metrics, but make sure the metrics that you're working hard for are the ones that your leadership also wants you to work hard towards.
Yeah.
Because if you're really ingrained in saying, "Hey, I want this tile to be the cleanest tile ever," but your leadership, like, cool, I want a clean tile, but I want this.
Right.
I want all these tiles clean, right? Not just this one. It can turn into a much different conversation. So as you're looking to make those metrics fun, because I think it's possible, right? Like, whoever you are, right? Like, you can make metrics fun in your own way. Right. And if you don't, Google it. I'm sure there's 100 million ways, right? Whether it's through people like cones, right? Ice cream cones, like you can have an ice cream cone at the end of the shift. Like, that's cool. High fives.
Well, we just had somebody use their points for donuts.
We did.
For the team.
Yeah.
And like, she was a manager, and when I dropped her off, she's like, "Yeah, I just want to do something, give back to the team." Our shift managers can give back to our teams.
Yeah.
And I think that's so cool because when I dropped him off, the restaurant was pretty busy, and just the morale of it all. Like, you can make your shifts fun. Like, you own your shift.
Yep.
Make sure it's aligned, and make sure you're rowing in the same direction as the general manager.
Yep.
But you can have fun and have different liberties with that.
Agreed. And if you think you should be rowing in a different direction, then have that conversation. Yeah. Let us know. I don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. So, but yeah, continue to dive in. I think the energy and passion that we show as leaders, right, as shift managers, department managers, like whatever your title is, crew people, you can provide that punch, right, and the energy behind there, and give ourselves a little momentum.
And then, like you said earlier, holding that momentum every day, you get it, right? But I can tell you, if you fight through it, like, it's world of difference. We had a leadership transitions class recently, and one of our ground rules, literally on the ground rules, if nobody says it, we bring it up, is to have fun. We don't want somebody to sit there, because shift managers, you're not used to sitting down for 8 hours a day, right? So we try to bring the energy, and we really try to give them that. If we give them energy, they give us energy.
Yeah.
The last class we had like 8 people come up and be like, "I was not expecting this class to be fun. I was not expecting to have this much fun."
That's great.
And they learned a lot too.
Yeah.
And so, as a shift leader, you can have fun. And yes, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's possible.
It is. And when you're not, maybe give somebody else a baton that day. Like, "Hey, I just don't have the energy today. Can you be my fun person?" Right? Like, people rise to the occasion, right? Like, it just happens. I also know when I'm not, like, I just have to, like, shake it off sometimes. Like, I literally do, like, a head shake, like, get that out of my, and then get back to having some fun. But yeah, I appreciate the conversation. I think,
as boring as they can be, they can also be just as fun. So
KPIs. They're always going to be there. Might as well enjoy it.
Exactly.
Right? Cool.
Awesome. Listen, learn, and lead. We will see you next time. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us on Buns, Burgers, and Big Ideas. We hope today's episode inspired fresh ideas for your leadership journey. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and keep learning with us as we continue to explore leadership in the QSR world. Until next time, take care and lead well.